Weeks and softball podcast back in the house. David Siteman Garland here. Let me make sure we're all working here. I almost forgot how to do this thing after taking a few weeks off. A little under the radar, if you will, for a few weeks here. Let me share here let me send a messenger. A lot going on. Week of the Evans duel here. Boom. Send it into our chat. Ready to roll here. I hope all is well. Yeah, so took a few weeks off from the Siteman Softball podcast just because, honestly, there wasn't a ton going on necessarily in the softball world, right? Meaning, there was this kind of big summer break, for lack of a better term, which I enjoyed. Now I'm ready to get back out of here in Evansville. Do you know what I mean? But there wasn't a lot going on. There was the Smoky. There was a very small duel out west. But now we are gearing up for Evansville duel, one of my favorite events of the year, taking place this week in Evansville, Indiana. So I hope all is well with you. Got a few things to go over. We're going to talk about the duel. Duh. We're going to talk about, got some updates on some bats. I know some folks, a lot of people have been getting their Siteman softball bats as well. Awesome. And a lot going on for sure here in the softball world. So say hi. Come on in. Get yourself comfortable. Get yourself your favorite beverage, coffee. I'm not going to say you can't have a cocktail here at 11:47 a.m. Central Time on Tuesday, August 8th. But hey, you want to have a cocktail, you go have a cocktail, all right? Come on, hang out. Let me make sure in the chat here as well. Say hi so I can make sure that I know you're in the house. All right. So this is episode number 90. Number 90 of the Siteman Softball podcast. Let me check here one quick second. Make sure everyone's here. All right. Very cool. A few messages here in the group. Okay, awesome. Let me just test something here. Oh, I see my audio is kind of weird. Let me fix my audio here. Let me see if I can fix that real quick here. I know what I did. Give me a second. Settings. Audio. Boom. Scarlet. There we go. Now we got the good microphone going. Now we are good, and we're ready to roll. We got the right microphone on. That always helps. And we're going to get at it. So, doing a Siteman tonight. I love it. We're going to swing it soon. Got a little batting practice going. A few of us getting ready for the Pocket City duel. But yeah, I've been swinging it every week. Love to hear it. The reviews have already been awesome on it. We'll get to that in a little bit. As we talk about the duel, we'll talk about bats. We'll talk about all kind of here coming up. But I do want to give a couple shout outs here. One is to, first of all, a few things. At Siteman Softball on Instagram, SitemanSoftball.com for all your information. Also, Siteman Softball Nation on Facebook. A big thank you to the Siteman Cancer Center for their sponsorship of this episode. I do want to give a shout out to a few guys here in St. Louis. They are a D team, and they bought 15 Siteman bats. I appreciate those guys. I appreciate Jake and the guys there from It's Iconic and then also Intrinsic Construction. Really good dudes on that team. We know Jake and we know Matt and all those guys there, so we appreciate their support. They're going to be basically exclusively swinging Siteman Pures, which I absolutely love. So I appreciate those guys for sure. Big shout out to them. They had a big post on Facebook, which I put in my story, but very cool stuff. Quick shout out to them. All right. Let's talk Evansville duel. This is a big boy. This duel is a big boy. We are talking 33 conference teams. Let me double check that number's right. 33 conference teams here at the Pocket City duel. Now, a couple things that are interesting about this is that if you look at, I'm not talking about 33 teams. I'm not talking about the top 10 of the top 10. I think what's more interesting, right, is out of the top 10, let's go from, 11 to 28 or 29. It's very tight, especially in the middle there, right? I mean, we're talking tight
when it comes to conference standings, okay? This is what I mean by tight, okay? First of all, you got to realize how it works this year. It's a little bit different than the past. So just like the past, you get 7 scores, right? And now everyone's basically, well, most teams have played in 7 tournaments, so now you're replacing scores. We're going to replace 2 scores in Evansville. But then you got the championships next month in Indianapolis. If you've played 7 events, that's an 8th score. So it's wide open about how things are going to turn out here for the rest of the season. It really depends a lot on Evansville and the conference championships. It's almost like its own little season here because everything is so tight. By tight is let's look at the points, okay? Let's look at the points. I'll start here at 26. The Seminoles have 1,040 points. Siteman Pure, 1,054 points. Cheap Suits, 1,112. Rebel, 1,142. Aristotle, 1,186. LSR, 1,188. Straight Play, 1,194. Look how close that is. And then you even get into Bay Area, 1,264. True also has 1,264. Dirty Vegas has 20 points more than that. NFM Lending has 2 more points than Dirty Vegas. And Classic Glass has 4 more points than NFM Lending, right? I could keep going. The point here is that it's a wide open race. Wide open race kind of towards the final few qualifiers for the major and also just the overall conference standings, right? So big for all teams here in Evansville, right? Now, big points. Games, of course, will be streamed on USSSAlive.com, and we start on Thursday on Blue 3. So there's a blue quad and a red quad, and everything now there is turf in Evansville as of last year. So, and the fields are kind of interesting because I'm not sure the exact length of the fields. They do feel more than 300 for sure, at least in parts of it. Have to go out to at least 315. You know, it hasn't been a problem with the ball with anyone this year. So it's going to be interesting to see how the ball flies in Evansville. It won't be like 100 degrees, but it looks to be very humid. So that's going to be interesting to see how it goes. But we start Thursday morning, 9:45 against Sports Reach on Blue 3. So 9:45 a.m. Thursday against Sports Reach on Blue 3. You can't really go by past matchups at all, but we had an epic game with Sports Reach earlier this year in Texas where they ended up tracking us down in that game and winning by 1. But the final score in that game was 40-39. They're a very good team. We all know that. And we look forward to giving them our best efforts. And we're going to have a little bit of new look as we go into this tournament for a few different reasons. Number one, we've got 2 new players, right? We've got Earl and we've got Kenny coming in. So Earl might be a little bit late because he's coming from a work, but Kenny will be in the house for game 1, and then we're going to kind of go from there. So we got a little bit of a new look there. And unfortunately in this tournament, we're going to be missing David Bear. Congratulations to him, though. He got a big promotion. He's doing very well in the business side. But with that, came some trouble for this specific tournament, so he's not going to be able to make it there. We definitely have that mentality of next guy up, right? That's why we have depth. That's why we have a lot of guys. So we're going to be good to go. We'll, of course, miss him, but we'll be ready to go. No excuses coming out flying in this tournament. Med Petrov says that he is a butthead. He is a butthead. You know, he's our butthead, though. Do you know what I mean? He's a butthead nonetheless. But we will have a little bit of a new look with Kenny coming in and then Earl coming in into this tournament. And, you know, it's a good time for that. It's a good time to kind of take it to the next level. And, you know, we're going to be ready to go. 9:45 a.m. Evansville. And our band, Randy Garland, my dad, will be in the house. Temperatures look to be in kind of the high 80s, low 90s, which means if anybody knows my dad, he'll probably be wearing a light jacket. That's light jacket weather for my dad. Okay. So he'll be in the house. If you see my dad, go up and say hi to him. He loves softball. He loves watching. If he ever yells at an ump, it takes him a while to get to the ump now to try to yell at him. So we'll stop him before he does that. But go see my dad. He'll be hanging out with us the whole week in Evansville as well. So duel number 1, Thursday, 9:45 a.m. Sports Reach Blue 3. We go from there. Duel number 2 starts Friday night. 7:30 p.m., playing Nitro Circus. That's our first game in duel number 2. Again, Nitro Circus was a game we played. We haven't seen them since early April, where we played them in the second game of the Florida Duel. The first game of the Florida Duel, we had a comeback walk-off of the Seminoles. In the second game of the Florida Duel, Nitro Circus kicked our butt pretty good. Past results are not necessarily indicative of future results, but that's the one time we've played each other. It's been a long time, and it's a long season. So I think maybe 2 different teams than you saw earlier in the year there. That'll be very interesting to see how it goes. But what's interesting in this tournament, and maybe if DW comes on here and checks out the podcast today, he can explain, or anyone else that's very good with the points, because sometimes the points get a little bit confused. Here's the key. If you look back at Texas, there's a giant difference between being towards the bottom and kind of the next tier on up. You never want to be at the bottom. You never really want to be in that next tier. But the bottom in Texas got, I believe, 120-ish points. But if you got out of that bottom little part, the next was 180 points. That's a 60-point difference, right? In Evansville, it's only going to be bigger because there's more teams, right? So there's a lot of room people can make up there. There could be 200-point swings, right? There could be 150-point swings, 180-point swings. There could be big-time swings depending on how people do in this tournament. So it'll be interesting to see what the standings look like after Evansville. I will be very, very interested to see how it goes. So we'll be ready to go. And, one thing that we've noticed this year, this is crazy, it's just how the margin for error is just small. It's just so small. Wins and losses. I look back at some of our games where, you hate to say what could have been or what should have been, right? But there's a big difference when you're losing games close. Obviously, you want to win every game, right? When you're losing games close, or you're getting blown out of the stratosphere, right? If you're getting blown out of the stratosphere consistently, you basically say, we suck. We need new players, right? That's what it is. Like, if you're getting blown out all the time, that's how it works, okay? That is not the case at all with us. There are so many painful 1 to 2 run losses this year that it's just getting over that next hump. It's just a play here, a play there, right, to find it. And, that's what we're hoping comes together. If you look at some of our losses going backwards here, West Point lost 37-34. Beachy Construction lost 28-27. Comatose lost 26-25. Let's see. We've got Epic. That was another good one. Sports Reach 40-39. Right. We beat Rebel 27-26. We lost to Bay Area 20-19. Right. We lost to Roof X 16. We beat the Seminoles 22-21. Right. Those kind of games, I'm giving examples. They're just tight, right? Like sometimes, sometimes you're the bug, sometimes you're the windshield, right? So there's always games that get blown out one way or another. That's going to happen. You're going to get blown out, people. That's the way it should be. Not the way it should be, the way it is, right? You look at those. Yeah, we've blown out some teams. We've also been blown out a few times, right? That's the way it works. But what I'm more focused on is that tight middle there, the 1 runs, the 2 runs, the 3 run games. Need to get improved. Is that 1 more play? Is that 2 more plays? Is it a difference maker like a Kenny Leach or Earl, right, coming in here and making a little bit of a different play or a different look? You don't know exactly, but I can tell you that right now it is just very, very tight, and that's going to be exciting. Goes here in Evansville. So Evansville, Indiana, heading out on Wednesday. We'll be there Thursday through the weekend. I'll try to send updates when I can on Facebook and social media. Sometimes that's tough in the middle of the tournaments. Good news is you get a lot of games. We get to wear a lot of our gear, all that kind of stuff. And, we'll be Siteman there. So speaking of swinging Siteman Pures, we've got, most people have theirs now. If you're a USSSA, if you have a USSSA bat, you basically have it at this point, and your bonus hat if you did a pre-order online. And so we literally now have hundreds hundreds of Siteman Pure Bats out in the, we had, I don't know, let's call it 40, 50 bats that came in for Matt Petrov to sell this past weekend. They came in Friday, and by Sunday night, they were gone. Say that one more time. They came in Friday, by Sunday night, gone. Every single size, every single thing in USSSA. Talk to Pure soon about what's going to be next for the USSSA bats. So we're going to have an additional order, things like that. We're going to find out soon. So if you missed out, or if you want another one, because we're seeing the reviews are everywhere, everyone's loving them. We expect nothing but great bats from Pure, and that's the way that these are, and durable, right? That's the other key. I mean, one thing to have a great bat, another thing if it breaks or whatever. I mean, if you see nothing but posts about Pure bats, they last. Not to say it can't break, it sure it can, but I mean, I think we've failed one or two bats the entire year, if that, in broken zero. So, and that's the entire year of conference play with giant monsters hitting stuff. Do you know what I mean? So the durability is critical. I mean, that's been a problem with numerous bats across the board, different manufacturers over the years. It's like, okay, great, it's hot, breaks. Hot, fails. Do you know what I mean? You know, and you want something that holds there so that you're not buying a new bat every 5 seconds. That's great for the bat companies, not so good for you, right? So, Danny Larson, see you tomorrow, my friend. The durability's been great. The pop out of the wrapper's been great. Everything's been great with these bats. What I like is that you just had to choose. You had to choose like very hot and not durable, or like it takes forever to break in. And what's nice about this technology is that you can basically just get out and swing. I'd feel very confident, seriously, taking it out, hitting like 10 balls in BP, and going out and hitting it in a game. Do you know what I mean? It'd be ready to go. So appreciate Chris Osborne and the team at Pure for that. The ASA bats, I know, getting into the minutia here, there's some parts that had to come in. I don't really get into the technical details of the ASA bats or the UTRIP bats for that matter, but the ASA bats are going to be shipping very soon. I'm waiting for an update from Pure on that. Should be very, very soon for the folks that got an ASA Siteman Pure bat as well. So reminders. When you get your bat, ASA, USSSA, whatever, take a photo, you with the bat itself, go out, shoot some video of BP. I don't care what it is. Tag me, David Siteman Garland, on Facebook, and you're going to be entered in a drawing that we'll do probably next month because we'll give everybody a little bit of time to get their bats and everything, to win a complete set of Siteman hats. You already have the Navy one if you pre-ordered, so we're going to hook you up with the other 4 Siteman hats as well. So you have a complete set of 5 knitted hats. So make sure to tag me. Again, it's David Siteman Garland on Facebook. You can look for me on there. It's also facebook.com/David Garland if you actually want to type it into your browser. So that is it, my friends. I mean, this coming in concise here on the episode. Little preview of Evansville, the Pocket City Duel coming up. Give you a little bit look about what we're playing, what we're doing. The Siteman Pure Bats are in the wild now. So hundreds are out there. I love seeing it. For those that are going to be at the Pocket City Duel, come up, say hi. Look forward to seeing everyone on all the teams there, and people that are coming and hanging out as well. So we'll see. Thank you to the Siteman Cancer Center for their support of this episode. Thanks for everyone else tuning in, and we will see you in Evansville, Indiana.